Well, today's focus isn't on the campus itself, it's on the throwing team, because the throwing team trains here, of course, and they're getting ready for the Commonwealth Games. And, you know, it's all of these ancient athletic endeavors like the discus and the hammer throw and the javelin. So I came and I met some of the athletes, the students, and tried my hand at it as I want to do. So I did the whole thing. I threw the hammer, I threw the javelin, I threw the discus. I did everything. I always try to do everything, and I always try my hardest. I was a little worried today with the javelin because I thought, you know, this is I'm doing so poorly. People will believe that no grown man could do it that poorly, and therefore they'll think I'm pretending, but I wasn't. I was trying my hardest. I'm not very good at any of those things. I've learned that, but they're incredible, and you know, it's a lot of hard work. They're out there at 6 in the morning, every morning. That's tough and these are athletes that are, in their words, not mine, on the dark edges of track and field, because they have to practice far, far and away because what they do is so inherently dangerous. I mean, they're throwing javelins and hammers and such, so they're like removed. It's like the dark underbelly of track and field. So I liked it.
My name is Larry Stanky, head coach at the University of Lethbridge track and field team. Rick Mercer has one of those techniques that will take a number of years to get better and well enough to compete in 2016, but there's possibility there. The highlight of the day for me definitely was finding out whether thick or thin crust will fly farther in the pizza toss with him and pronghorn Ryan Summer, so that was definitely the highlight.
I would describe the U of L as a small school with a big attitude.
Like a little hidden gem.
Professors here are so passionate and knowledgeable, and they make the classes really interesting, and I love attending the classes here.
It has very small class sizes. You really get to know your supervisors and professors.
Like, the profs here are just crazy amazing.
We're not just a number here. The staff and faculty really care about us as students, and they want us to succeed, and they want us to have fun while doing it.
I really love my professors.
The professors here are exceptional.
The profs at the University of Lethbridge are really good. They want you to succeed with your career and in life.
Small class sizes are really helpful in learning because it's more of a personal feel, and the teachers come up to you and ask you questions more so than the big lectures.
The vibe is actually a lot better at the U of L. It's a lot more friendly and wonderful, and it's also really close to home.
The people here are just awesome. Tight-knit community it's just awesome.
It's really easy to navigate, which is super nice, and everybody kind of knows everybody, which is really cool too.
It is easy to get around once you get used to the university.
The U of L has the most reputable education program in all of Western Canada.
It's one of the most highly rated research centers in the country.
I love the drama program here. The people are so great.
Last summer I had the opportunity to go to Italy and get class credit for a fine arts class, so that was literally out of this world. It was really awesome.
What I really love about the U of L is the number of clubs I have the opportunity to be involved in.
The basketball games or watching hockey games, pronghorns.
It's not just about academics, it's about having fun and being a person with the university.
I spend a lot of time climbing or working out here, and people are always really friendly, and it's a really non-judgmental place.
There's a lot of support systems here, especially for Aboriginals.
I love University of Lethbridge.
I love the U of L. Today is the Stress Reduction Car Destruction event, and basically we're giving students the opportunity, it's kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to smash a car and let out a bit of their frustration. At the same time, we're reminding students that obviously this isn't normally an acceptable way to relieve their stress. So we're trying to give them some information on other ways that they can that are a little bit more healthy and not so strained. Students are very stressed out right before exams. They have lots of assignments due and the exams are looming as well. The Student Success Center offers study skills help and tutoring help, as well as having the mental health education, which this is a part of. And of course, we also have what I do. I'm the mental health educator. So I have activities like this, raising awareness. Remember to take care of your stress before it gets out of hand. Remember to access counseling services if you need to. Remember that we have all these supports available on campus.
My husband, Yarsanda, was the head of the coach of the Lethbridge University's Judo Club coach, and he was also taught as the semester course in Judo, Judo 1 and Judo 2. And that's how we got involved. Practice Judo hard and then to become a good person. That is our ultimate aim. It's for everybody from very young. It was designed to be for everybody, young and old, men and women.
Well, she's extremely active. If you look at a lady at 88 years old doing judo, we have 2 beginner class, we have a junior class, and we have kata classes. She goes to all those classes. So a minimum of 4 times a week, sometimes up to 6 times a week she does judo. Mrs. Sanda was always there to support and check for the woman's evolution in judo. She was responsible for all the female in Canada to receive a black belt. I know when I started judo in 1969, I was told I will never get a black belt and I would never go to the Olympics. However, I did receive a black belt because in 1974, Mrs. Sanda was tired of being refused for a black belt from Judo Canada. So she decided to write a letter to the Judo Canada grading board, and she told them in that letter that if they would not agree for her to have a black belt, she would write to the Human Rights Commission. And within a couple weeks, she had a black belt, and that was in 1974. And in 1976, I did receive my black belt. So it was really nice, and all female in Canada can thank her for this wonderful gesture she did for all of us.
Thanks, everybody. Hundreds of millions of people owe their lives to antibiotics. And chances are, some of those people are in this room today. Whether you took the antibiotics directly, or it was a parent or a grandparent who needed antibiotics, saving your life in more of an indirect manner. Now, as good as antibiotics are, we have to think about what life was like before they existed to truly appreciate them. Before antibiotics, 9 out of 10 children with bacterial meningitis didn't survive. Things like strep throat and ear infections could be fatal diseases. And 11% of people with simple skin infections died. Just think about how many times you've been sick this past year. And I'm not talking about feeling deathly ill. I'm talking about the last time you felt a little woozy, so you took the day off work and power watched a few seasons of your favorite TV show on Netflix. 100 years ago, Any of those times could have killed you, and that would have been totally normal. So what's wrong with the way we make antibiotics right now? The way we make antibiotics right now is called, well, it's what I like to call the car company method. We'll take a current antibiotic, we'll soup it up a little, give it some horsepower, maybe some leather seats, and then we market it as a brand new antibiotic. The problem with this is that if you're targeting bacteria with an antibiotic you've only changed slightly, they only have to change themselves slightly to become resistant. And bacteria are far better at doing this than we are at developing new drugs. And so if we don't start thinking outside the box about how we're going to develop new drugs to treat these antibiotics, we're going to start living in a world where those statistics I quoted earlier will once again become a terrifying reality. So where do these answers lie? I think the answers, or at least some of them, lie in the way that proteins move. Now, proteins need to be able to move to function. If you stop a protein from moving, it doesn't work anymore. And so in theory, if you have a way of observing proteins moving, you can see if something's able to stop these movements and could potentially function as an antibiotic. And this is exactly what I've been doing with my master's thesis time. It turns out that by fluorescently labeling proteins at very specific locations, you can actually see minute differences between protein structural conformations. This means we can actually watch proteins open and close in real time, and just by measuring the amount of light that's being emitted from the fluorescent dyes attached to them. This assay I've developed allows us to screen a mass amount of compounds and pick out the ones that prevent these movements and use them to develop some potentially new drugs to treat these ever-resistant bacteria. And that is how you translate protein movements into novel antibiotics.